Hello, how's it going? Got some tea here. This will be a long one. I got about a hour or so worth of footage, so we'll get this thing kicking off now, so we don't have to sit through a ton of it. Um, yeah, so for those who haven't been part of this or haven't done this before, this is a race review. Going to just run through all the stages of the BME at Glorieta. So I'll provide some commentary in real time. For those of you guys who don't know, BME was a 2-day race. It was like 8,500 feet of climbing over the span of 2 days and close to like 33, 34 miles. So pretty big race, pretty big set of days. So yeah, a lot going on. So let's get this kicked off with stage one. What's up, guys? Yeah, so this is stage one. This is probably the longest stage. So yeah, a bit of fun. It was pretty pedally, and yeah, not feeling too warmed up. The first climb up here is about 3,000 feet or so. So a lot of climbing to get to the top of this stage, and then you just drop right in. I will say I had some issues with my fork setup. My rebound's way too fast. It's just kind of like skipping everywhere and did not feel too hot. So just couldn't keep traction and couldn't carry speed in some of the faster bits, unfortunately. Anyways, not too much to note here, other than the fact that this stage is blind for me. So yeah, about like a 15-minute stage, all blind. Don't know what's coming up. Don't know how long I need to pedal for, or anything like that. Top part was just like a lot of open fields and stuff like that. This here is like the first little climby bit. Nothing too crazy. Trying to get between some narrow trees. Then a little flowy section here. Some more flow, a little loose. Trying to figure out what line I need to go through because, yeah, like I mentioned, this is all blind. Is the stream going all right? You guys seeing the video all right? No lag issues or anything like that? This is my first pass. Just not able to carry speed. Like I mentioned, the fork was not working well. Yeah, a little bit more pedally section again. That's a good question. So I try not to ride blind as much as possible. This was a little difficult just due to the way the race was structured and time off work and everything like that. Gotten knocked offline. Fun times. Um, yeah, I'd say typically my strategy is to just look as far ahead as I can, keep the speed fairly moderate, but not like super fast, just because you don't want to like blow out a turn or anything like I did a little bit ago. Um, Try to get some good beta on like what the trails, like what to expect on the trail, and then just kind of go from there. So I knew this one was pretty pedally. I knew it was going to be the longest stage, so I just tried to like pace myself a little bit, and not go too hard, just because I knew I was going to have to pedal quite a bit through some of it. But yeah, as far as like how long to pedal for and anything like that, that part gets a little tough. But yeah, the big thing is just like trying to look ahead as much as possible and like see as far down the trail so you can react sooner and everything like that, which is really challenging during some of the tight turns. So this is probably, I think, where the pedaling really starts to kick in on this trail. And by the way, this is, as I mentioned, stage one. So this is Secret Trail. Here's the next pass. Just not holding enough speed and let the next guy past. Riders dropped at 30-second intervals, so trying to keep the speed where I can, but riding blind and not looking far enough ahead, and fork feeling a little awkward, it all kind of contributed to my time on this. But anyways, Dad Bod Biker, I don't know if that answered your question or not. Since this is such a long stage without a whole lot going on, how's everybody's evening, night going? Did anybody get a ride in today? I try not to go in completely blind. So 3 of the stages of the 6 stage race were blind for me, and the other 3 I had pre-rode the week prior. Even still, I try to get as much intel as I can, because the more you know and know what to expect, the faster you can go. Like this one, this is from here on out, I'd say like the next 5-ish or so minutes, it's just going to be a lot of pedaling. And so knowing that, I try to just kind of chill out and pace myself a little bit. Still push hard, but not burn myself out, because I still have another 2 stages. And that's kind of one of the things you miss whenever you don't pre-ride. So that drop was like nothing. I just kind of missed it and didn't see it. I wasn't looking far enough ahead. So yeah, lost a little bit of time there, but nothing compared to the other time I lost. Feel you on getting off work. It's a bummer how much of a time sink that is. Started to slow down a little bit here. This is where things got steep and pretty interesting. Everyone blew out that corner right there. Um, and I was one of the only people who did not crash. But this is kind of the stuff I really like, where it just gets steep and kind of loose. Um, yeah, and just tough though. Like I mentioned, just looking far enough ahead. I think that left line was a little bit straighter and a little bit better. Yeah, I was hoping to get out for a ride today, but unfortunately didn't work. Did not work out. Yep, another corner. I think people blew that one out as well. Yeah, it's definitely cooler than Arizona. It's I think hit a high of 65 here today. Um, it depends on the race, really. This race, I'm still recovering a little bit, but I'm still riding and still doing some strength work. So it all kind of depends a little bit. Some of the shorter races, you know, doesn't take as much to recover from or anything like that. So yeah, this one was a bear just because of how long and how much there was. And then this part gets pedally again. So yeah, a lot of like 3 to 5-ish minute pedaling sections that just get rough. That was a little tricky corner, just not looking far enough ahead. Well, this is good. Only 2 people have passed me so far. This is a long stage. So yeah, here's a little bit more pedaling. I know it's so fun to watch. This part was pretty fast. It's just wide double track. You could kind of haul ass. Been racing about 2 years now, so yeah, not super long. Still got a couple of things to work on. Mostly bike setup and being consistent. But it just takes practice, kind of dialing in your lines, getting the skills to be comfortable to hit just about anything, and then it's a matter of figuring out how to carry speed through things. This section's all like completely flat and just pedally. But yeah, it's good fun. Racing's fun. It's a chance to kind of test your skills and see if everything lines up. It's easy to do Strava segments and everything like that and wait for the perfect conditions, but it's a lot of fun to just kind of see where you're at, even from just yourself when it comes to race day. Just haul ass and see if you got it. Where are you guys planning on riding this weekend? Yeah, I'd say I rode pretty seriously, but always never necessarily out to like progress or anything like that, but I did kind of ride a lot. So right now I can't pedal. I have a tube pack that goes behind my seat tube, in between the wheel and the seat tube, and that kind of moved over and got in the way of my cranks, so I can't pedal here. So that making life rather difficult in this last part of the last part of the race. Lost a bunch of time here just because that happened. I eventually decided I want to pull it out. But yeah, there's all sorts of skill levels whenever you race. There's people who are like beginners who have only been riding for like a year or less, and just kind of go out every once in a while to ride. And then you have the people who ride and train really hard all the time. So you've got a wide range of folks. This part gets pretty fast. It's definitely loose though, and visibility is not great because of all the bushes on the side. So I couldn't really haul as much ass as I wanted to here. "12-hour races are pretty legit, Scott. Uh, that's pretty crazy. I don't know. I don't know how you do it. That's a long time to be on the bike. Um, I'm pretty good at the endurance stuff, or at least it seems that way compared to other people. Yeah. So here's where I decide to like finally try to pull over and fix it after I got past. Um, yeah. So back to pedaling again. But yeah, 12-hour race is pretty crazy. I'd love to have the endurance, but going downhill is more fun for me. Yeah, soccer tournaments have a way of doing that. A lot of games and a lot of sitting around waiting for games. So totally understand that. Happened again. Got to fix that tube. Pull off to the side, lose some more time. You know how it is. No, I did not ride pro for this race. This race was definitely a bit crazier, that's for sure. And I will also mention there, I was basically right at the end of the finish line, so somebody should have just told me so I didn't mess around with my tube. I would have just ran across. But yeah, no, I did not race pro class for this race. I raced an expert. Expert had 58 people in it. This was not a very good stage for me. I think I did. I can actually take a look here real quick. Tell you guys how I did. We'll just say not great. Yeah, one sec. So I placed 50th out of 58 on that, which was not great, but not the worst by any means. But yeah, not particularly great. So yeah, stage one, that's done and over with. I don't know if you guys have suggestions or comments or questions on that. But on that note, let's hop on over to stage two. All right, so stage two, not very long, but super fun. Hold on a sec. Gotta get my window all set up here and looking right. Alrighty. Oh, no, not quite. All right, that should be good enough. Okay, stage two. Um, So stage 2, I did pre-ride this a week prior. And this was definitely my best stage and the most fun stage. And yes, I would love to ride faster. Why don't you come here and teach me? All right, stage 2. This is down Janker. So the top of this isn't anything to really write home about, just a couple of loose turns. And then flattish section to pedal. Couple little pumps. Felt like I was going pretty good here, but again, fork wasn't there. Quick turn, and then this is where stuff kind of starts to go crazy. So I definitely could have taken that faster, but this gets super steep. It's super blown out and super dusty. Everything is just dust, and it's just like a 20% grade right here. Trying to navigate in between rocks and everything like that, so it gets really hard to maintain traction. And if that doesn't get steep enough, then it gets even steeper here. Take that high line so you can stay outside because it's just so steep and dusty here. Basically, the name of the game here was to stay as high as you possibly could. You can see a lot of people crash there. I think that left line up that rock would have been a much better option than trying to hold my line there. Instead, I screwed up and had to walk it. Just didn't have the momentum to get up over the rock. Dusty. Again, could have ridden faster through this. Hey Vapor, how's it going? And this is where things started falling apart on me. This part's definitely janky. It's a little different. Just kind of like weird rocks at random places and not good places. Yeah, definitely that left line. There's a couple of little doubles in here that I didn't remember. And with my fork feeling a little off, didn't feel that it was a good idea to hit them. That was a really bad line there. Should have just kind of hung left. Right down the notch. This is the last little steep section. Someone calls out rider, and I just hesitated, didn't know whether to go fast or slow. Let him by. And then, yeah, through this dusty little section. This part's tough. It's dusty, and like I mentioned, a bunch of weird rocks, like this weird rock. If you're going fast, you can hop it, but if you're going slow like me, it gets a little trickier. And just trying to remember all the lines and hang on and everything like that was tough. It's kind of getting tired, just upper body just getting beat up. And then that's the end of the race. Sorry, end of the stage, not the race. Each stage is kind of different. Some stages are really long. First one was probably close to, I don't know, 5 miles, I want to say. And the second one was like a mile. So yeah, not super crazy by any means, but all downhill ish. So it can get challenging. All right, so to get to stage 3, we had to climb all the way back up to where 2 was. So that left it like, I want to say 4,700 feet of climbing for the day, which is pretty nuts. It was a lot of climbing. I don't think I've done that much in a day. So that was rough. Yeah, so let's kick this one off. Okay. Okay, so this third stage was down Jagged X. This one was like a cross between 1 and 2. A little chunky, a little flowy, but a very physical stage. Top part I felt really good on. Just able to hold my lines and everything like that. Carry speed. Of course, I'm like hitting rocks. Again, my fork's still not set up right. In fact, it wasn't the entire time. And yeah, I just missed looking ahead. This one was not blind. I had ridden or pre-ridden this prior. Couple of fun little turns here. I think there is a line off to the right that I missed that was way faster. Yeah, my rebound is, as Travis is saying, my rebound was too fast, so it was like just instead of skipping over rocks, it was going into every single one of the holes. Okay, so this is like my favorite feature. It's called the birth canal. You can't see the lineup, and you go right between these rocks, and it's pretty cool. Up and over the rocks, some pretty cool features, stuff like that. But yeah, so my rebound was too fast. It was just kind of like slamming me backwards into all the rocks and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like super tiring and did not hold traction well. So like when I would turn, it would want to try to skip. So it's basically like fighting the front of the bike the entire time to stay down and not throw me around. Which also made my legs tired because when you're getting thrown backwards too, you kind of like lean back and squat more instead of going into the right position. So yeah, legs were a little tired too. Lots of cool little things you can double and jump and everything like that on this trail. I was, as I mentioned, I had ridden this prior, so I was just trying to remember all the lines. I got caught up here and messed up and partially the fork, but you can also take that rock just a little right there on the right that I missed and kind of clear everything there, which I wanted to do. Thanks, dude. Talk to you later. Have fun. And here I just kind of died. I couldn't pick my line, and I didn't want to get bounced around everywhere. Again, a couple of more doubles. I forgot that line entirely. It's just like a couple quick drops. So yeah, hopped off the bike again, went the long way around. But it was totally rideable. I should have just hit it. And then up here on the left is the best line, and then down. Super smooth. Unless you get bounced around on your front fork like I just did. This stage was probably my worst, which is interesting considering I got 52nd out of 58 on it. Like if I hadn't had to hop off and walk, I probably would have moved up like, I want to say at least 4 to 6 places. So yeah, that left line is definitely a better line if you're going fast enough for it, and I was not. Right, hindsight is always 2020. Again, there's so many like little rocks you can hop and jump over stuff here. It's all momentum. You need the speed. It does have a pretty decent amount of uphill tech. Yeah. Up and over this little rock feature. Getting close to the end, sort of. Can hop over that rock. Struggling to find the trail. I'm pretty fatigued at this point, so form and vision and everything like that is falling apart. That left line's definitely better. I didn't see it coming down that little rocky section. And up here is a feature called the moon booter that I don't take. Bike was not feeling good, so it's super kicky. And it's basically a 6-foot huck to flat, so not a good option. And then here's the nasty rock garden, or start of it. Just trying to hold the line through there is really rough. Rock garden's still going, and I got sucked off to the right and crash. Yep, tunnel vision, right where it's at. And there's my only pass, I think, of this stage. So yeah, again, like I said, I got 52nd out of 58 on this stage. So if I hadn't had to stop and screwed up or hop off my bike, I would have moved up a lot of places here. This just looks nuts. You can't really see the line. So there's a line off to the right that wasn't there. Some people knocked some trees out. The line was up and over that rock to the left. Trying to get clipped back in, getting mad and yelling at myself. And this part's just so cool, and I wanted to do it. It's just a nice drop with a sweet transition, and it was just not happening. I was really mad. I wanted to hit that so bad. Anyways, not much to mention here. So it's just some flowy pump tracks and everything like that. Nothing too crazy. And we got a nice little drop here. A lot of people were just hucking it, basically almost to flat. And that's the end. Yeah, so that was rough. And I feel your pain on a divey fork in St. George. That would suck so bad there. Yeah, so I got 52nd out of 58 on that stage. So yeah, not the best. That was definitely my worst stage. And I didn't mention what I did in the previous stage. So Janker stage 2, I got a 48, which was my best stage. So yeah. Let's hop on over and take a look at stage 4. Just got to get my window smaller here. All right. I drank too much tea. I will be back in 1 minute. All right, I'm back. For classes was pretty nuts. There are definitely some pro times in there, for sure. So, very stacked field. Very stacked. Um, okay. So stage four. Stage four is on day 2. So after I had a nice long recovery. It was like a 1,800-foot climb, so nothing too crazy, but yeah, still a respectable climb. This stage was also blind for me. And I will mention my fork was set up a little bit better. So yeah, same strategy, just try to look ahead as much as I possibly can. But still not ahead enough. Trail intel I got for this one was as steep and loose up top and then got pedally towards the end. Yeah, Travis, vision's a very interesting thing when you're getting bounced around everywhere. But at least the bike did start to feel a little bit better here. Fork, rather. It's definitely pretty tired and feeling it from yesterday. The fatigue of my bike beating me up and, close to 4,700 feet of climbing just really killed me. So I wasn't able to pedal nearly as hard as I wanted through a lot of this. This is the pedally section. What's up, Ben? I didn't see you here. This part was just like fast. You could just see forever and try to pedal, but in some ways not quite enough to gearing for me when I did this race to get it. It's a good question, Travis. My legs are very sore. I don't know what I did. I will say I didn't do any strength training last week, so that's probably has something to do with it. And I was pretty light the week prior, so today kind of wrecked me. But yeah, my legs and glutes are pretty wrecked from Tuesday. We'll see how tomorrow feels. Missed my line, not looking far enough ahead. More pedaling. And here's where I got past. I just don't have any gas in my legs. Now stuff gets pretty narrow, and a pre-ride would have been very beneficial on this trail. The vision just kind of gets a little obscured, and it's hard to look far enough ahead. And just got to crank out some watts here. Too much pedaling. Super flowy through here, but vision's a little difficult to look far enough ahead and see where you want to go. More pedaling. Another pass. Back to some flowy single track, and you can look really far ahead. Tough corner. Another tough corner. And this is where the upper body fatigue starts to get to me. In hindsight, having seen this trail, there was definitely some better lines. That one on the left was a better option, and I could have pedaled a lot harder through some of this stuff. My fork was feeling better, but not perfect by any means. It's still struggling to get traction and everything like that. Still a little too fast, I think. Just couldn't see far enough ahead. Just got super rocky and pedally, and yeah, just bad lines. This was definitely one that would have been better suited to pre-ride. I'm just getting bounced around everywhere on my front fork. So all these rocky bits are just extremely challenging, like a lot more challenging than they should be. More pedaling. I'm just pretty gassed at this point. Here's where I missed my line. I didn't see the A line. It's definitely doable, but decided to take the safe route and take the B line. In hindsight, could have just hit it. That was stage 3. Or I'm sorry, stage 4, broken arrow. I got 49th out of 58. So yeah, not good, but not horrible. Not horrible considering. Okay, stage 5. Stage 5 was another blind stage. It's down 30 acre. And this was probably the easiest stage of the weekend. Loose and fast up top. A lot of vision. Definitely could ride a little faster through this. Didn't know what to expect here. As I mentioned, I was riding this blind, so there's definitely some sections I probably should have and could have ridden quicker. Just trying to find the trail. Did not straight line that like I should have in both places. Little bit of pedaling here, but not a ton. And also not seeing the trail. This is where things started to get a little interesting. Kind of have this like tight and narrow space. And vision's a little obscured, so it's hard to know what and where things are coming up. Little drop here. Cross some rocks. Little muddy here. Getting knocked offline. Aggressively in there. Got a good picture somewhere. Super flowy. Really could have charged hard through this. Just didn't know it was coming up, so paced it a little bit. Plus, I was tired. And I knew how rough Chili Dog was going to end up on me. Trying to pick your lines through here. And there we are across the line. So yeah, nothing too crazy there. Definitely the most mellow stage of the whole weekend, for sure. All right, now for the one that Now for the one you guys have been waiting for. Get my window sized here. Okay. So stage 6, last stage. Probably the hardest or one of the hardest stages next to stage 3 yesterday. Top part starts out all right. It's flowy, nothing too crazy up there. I think that other line's a little bit faster because it lines you up straighter, but oh well. This part's all like fairly pedally. You got a nice uphill that you don't need to pedal too much for if you're going super fast and you know how to roll through the rest of the stuff. I think you could have taken an outside line there and just set up better for the rock and the corners. But of course, this is all in hindsight. But it's good to see this stuff later. Trying to pump through all this stuff. And here's where my camera kind of starts to freak out on me, so hopefully this won't be too bad. Though it kind of looks pretty bad. It's hard to watch. This is like the first major feature. You got a beeline off to the left, or you got this rock roll. And up and over this rock corner. You know what, we're just going to watch this anyways. We'll suffer through it. Next little feature, you got this hop. And then you got a wall right off to the left if you can hit it, and up and over this rock. This rock, and then you can drop or gap those. Again, this is probably the best feeling stage on my fork out of all of them, but it still is not where it needed to be. So yeah, confidence is not there, not to mention fatigue. Things get pretty smooth from here. Got a like little rock garden, you can kind of hop over those rocks there or thread the needle. Another berm. One more berm. And then shit gets real. This is where it gets really rocky. I wanted to get up high and missed it. If you hang that right over the trees, you get a much better straight line through all this stuff. I kind of missed it. And there's a nice smooth line on the outside there. But yeah, as I mentioned, fork not feeling great, so it's kind of getting bounced around a little bit more than I'd liked. Instead, we have this weird warping thing. I think my GoPro just didn't know how to stabilize stuff very well anymore. Either that or it just got the... I think it just got the frames mixed up. More rocky chunder here. This part was pretty awkward, just trying to like find the right line that didn't beat you up and blow you up too much. Yeah, so there's a drop off to the right, but I guess they taped it off and forced everybody down that S corner. And then here we start getting into the really gnarly bit, and we'll see the chili dog drop. This is where all the hecklers were. Lots of cowbells. I aim for it and take the beeline instead. Managed to hang on. Think someone crashed behind me, and there we are, across the line. So yeah, that was stage 6. Lights. Yeah, so that was stage 6. I ended up placing 50th out of 58, so not great. Yeah, I was just pretty tired. Fork was beating me up and everything like that. So yeah, things just didn't go my way in some ways on that race, unfortunately. But I ended up 48th overall. Day 1 I was sitting 47, so I did bump down, unfortunately. But you know, I know what my mistakes are. I really need to get that fork dialed in because I'm definitely faster than that. I shouldn't be as beat up as what I was. So yeah, just need to get that kink worked out and everything like that, and I should be good to go. Anyways, for those of you who did hang out and stay to the end, thanks for hanging out and staying to the end. And those who are watching later, hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Yeah. 2 more weeks to the next one. On that note, I'm going to call it and hope you guys have a good time. See you later.